Hi Doctor, today me, Nuka Marina Binti Kamari, and also my group member, which is Natasha, Yasmin, and also Rushdan, are going to present about social influence. So, so why we choose this topic? Because I feel like we can relate this topic in our everyday life. So yeah. So you may ask, what is social influence? Social influence, like what I know, is actually like intentional and also unintentional effort that someone put to change another person belief, attitudes, and also behavior. And like I said, it's like the individual trying to change their behavior in order for them to meet the certain demand in the social environments. And you can actually see this in conformity, like in socialization, also in peer pressure and obedience, leadership, and also sales and marketing. So this is few example of minority influence that I can found. The first one is suffragette movement, which is the sought to gain the right for women to vote in the UK during the early 20th century. And the second one is the American civil rights movement, which was a political movement and campaign from 1954 to 1968, I believe, in the United States. And this is for to abolish the institutional racial segregation, discrimination, like throughout the whole US. And the last one is the anti-apartheid movement. And this actually was a British organization that was at the center of the international movement opposing the South Africa. They want to oppose the South Africa apartheid system and supporting the South Africa non-white population who actually were persecuted by the policies because of the apartheid.
My name is Yasmin Suraya Binti Anwar, and today I'm going to present about conformity. Conformity is the process where people change their belief, attitude, and perceptions to match those in a group that they desire and they want to fit in. Those that actually practices conformity has a high desire for the need to belong in a certain group. Therefore, they will succumb into the group's idea and the group's thinking and agree with everything that the group says. First example of conformity is automatic mimicry or the chameleon effect. What does it does? Well, people that actually practices conformity in a mimicry way would have a non-conscious mimicry of expressions or a mannerism of the people in the group that they desire. The second example is informational social influence. It is actually the need to go along with a group because they have more information about certain things. The people that actually practices this type of conformity usually doubt their own judgment and have low self-confidence. The next one is normative social influence, which is the tendency to go along with a group just to avoid disapprovals. People that does this are usually very scared to tell others about their opinions and would not correct the group if he or she knows that the thing that they're doing are wrong. The next one is desire of individuality and the desire to control one's life. The first one is usually seen in collectivistic cultures like the Asian cultures, whereas the other one means that when personal control increases, conformity actually decreases.
I would like to explain about compliance. So compliance is the ability to act according to an order, set of rules, or a request. So where this explains that compliance is a term that used across the industry to describe the rules, the policies that prohibits or regulates specific product, services, or the processes. Often legally binding, enforced by the government agencies, compliance standards are federal, state, and many regulations that actually restrict the way organizations conduct business. Alright, next would be the common risks that can be included in compliance. So the first one would be the most common one, which will affect the employee behavior. The second one would be the workplace health and safety, environmental effect, data management, the quality, itself, the process, and also the social responsibility. So hence, one of the situational example that can be related in this compliance example is when you buy something after being persuaded by a pushy salesperson, or trying to buy a particular brands of soda after seeing a commercial endorsement featuring your favorite celebrity are two examples of what is known as compliance.
Hello, next I will be talking about obedience. Obedience is a form of social influence that involves performing an action under the orders of an authority figure. It differs from compliance and conformity, which involve changing behavior in the request of another person and involve altering your behavior in order to go along with the other group. Instead, obedience involves altering your behavior because a figure of authority has told you to. Okay, next. There are three ways that shows obedience differs from others like conformity and compliance. First one is obedience involve order, while conformity involve a request. Second, obedience is obeying someone with a higher status, while conformity is going along with people of equal status. The third one, obedience relies on social power, while conformity relies on the need to be socially accepted. Okay, next, there are two research regarding obedience. The first one is Milgram obedience experiment, led by psychologist named Stanley Milgram, and the second one is Zimbardo's prison experiment, led by psychologist of obedience Philip Zimbardo. Both of these findings have shown that, first one, studies have been conducted with participants in other countries, with children, and with other procedural variation. Next, from the outcome of these studies show that the same basic result inconsistently obtained. Many people readily accept the influence of an authority, even when that means causing potential harm to another person. Next is obedient example. The first example is a person who normally speed while driving is much less likely to speed when there are police visible for fear of getting a ticket. The second example is when a boss is in the office and watching what the employees are doing, they are more likely to comply with rules and regulation than when their boss are not around. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.